Gonna make a sentimental journey to renew old memories.
Hello and welcome to season number 2 of Making Our Seniors Matter, the show that gives seniors and their caregivers some great advice, wonderful information, and entertainment like you just heard right there. Making Our Seniors Matter was founded by Glenn Cunningham from Real Estate Design for Seniors and Elizabeth Cunningham of Blue Willow Consulting for Seniors. They join us this morning along with Margaret Wallace-Duffy from a remote studio in Somewheresville. We're not saying where it is because it's secret.
And we love to come from anywhere and everywhere. Todd, good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, no matter where you are around this fine globe, listening to this wonderful program that we do every week for you.
You betcha. And how exciting is it, Todd, to be back for season 2? Boy, oh boy, it feels like we just wrapped season 1. Did you have a great summer?
I had a fantastic summer. It was excruciatingly busy, and I say that in a funny way because it was trying to keep the boys really busy when they were out of camp. But it was fun, and it passed very quickly. How about you?
The exact same, spending time with family, talking about seniors, a lot of great quality time with my mom and dad. One of the reasons and passions that I'm sitting in this chair again this morning, passionate about being involved in Making Our Seniors Matter. And of course, in studio with us, Glenn and Liz. I know how busy you were over the summer and hiatus. Did you actually have one?
No, it's called grandchildren.
Yeah, we
spent lots of time with the grandchildren. It was absolutely fantastic summer. It was good.
Yeah, fabulous. Sure. And now we are ready to kick off season 2 in a big way. Liz, we've got an incredible guest with us this morning who not only put his hand up in season 1 for Making Our Seniors Matter Radio, but he was also the first person to put his hand up from a business perspective to really not only embrace our idea, but put some investment behind Making Our Seniors Matter TV that we will see happen in the near future. And that is Terry McIntyre. Welcome, Terry, to the show.
Well, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. We are thrilled to have you here.
I am. I'm very pleased to be here.
And, one of the cool things is that all of our listeners can actually see your beautiful face because you have a face for television, not just radio, in our Making Our Seniors Matter promo. So make sure you go to makingourseniorsmatter.com and check out that promo so that you can, listen to the podcast from season 1 and, of course, tune in to all that we've got going here in the exciting launch of season 2. So before we get started with Terry, we have to pay the bills around here. So stay tuned for a short commercial and we'll be right back.
When Monique, 77 years of age, found herself short of cash, she didn't feel right asking her children for help. With a strong independent streak, Monique always relied on herself. She was intrigued when she saw the CHIP reverse mortgage commercial on television. She inquired about meeting a CHIP representative. At the outset, Monique was skeptical, but was reassured by the clear and transparent process. After careful consideration and consultation with her son, Monique was confident that the CHIP reverse mortgage plan would meet her needs. Through the CHIP reverse mortgage, she accessed 34% of the equity of her home. By not accessing the full lending limit of her plan, she can access additional capital for future needs. Monique felt great relief paying off her existing mortgage. As well, money that used to service her debt now supplements her monthly cash flow. Monique is especially proud of living in her home while retaining her financial independence. If you think a home equity reverse mortgage would help you keep your financial independence, call 1-866-522-2447 or go to chip.ca.
Welcome back to Making Our Seniors Matter. And without further ado, I throw to Liz in our secret studio again with a wonderful guest that we've already introduced, and that is Terry McIntyre. Good morning, everyone.
Hello there. Welcome, Terry McIntyre. A big thank you for coming here today. And Terry is a full-service investment advisor with a focus on seniors, and he is with Manulife Securities. Are you ready, Terry?
Yes, I am.
Well, I'm going to ask you my first question then. When I work with seniors, oftentimes when they're looking at moving from their house to a residence or an apartment, the question I always get is, how will I know if my money will last as long as I do? So there you go. There's the question. What's the answer?
Well, that's actually one of the most 3 asked questions we get from seniors. And really what you've got to look at is your current investment, your current income, and then together we're going to formulate a plan that'll guarantee your comfort and a thing I call sleepability.
Oh, I love that.
I like that.
Yeah, I trademarked that word a lot of years ago, and it seems to hit dead on with a lot of people.
It keeps people awake at night, finances.
Oh, it certainly does.
Absolutely does, yeah.
I was in the 80s I came up with that, and I've used it ever since. Everyone has a different level of risk. Everybody's different. You're not, just because you're of a certain age and single or married, you're not all the same. What your needs are different. Your health needs are different. So you have to put a plan together, clearly set out how much is expected each year. Unfortunately, we now have interest rates at basically 0, and GICs aren't there making much for you. And the old comfort of my GIC makes me 6% is no longer there. So there's a few things you can look at. One is, of course, if you're never going to leave GICs, at least get the best rate you can. I was working with a senior back in May that had an automatic renewal at the bank, and they renewed her for a 1-year term, and that's all she renewed at, 0.6%. And it was called a bonus GIC.
Wow.
Some bonus.
Yeah. And I went back to the office after that and looked up my clients that have laddered GICs, and they were averaging 2.4% on their GIC portfolio. That's 4 times the difference than an automatic renewal at 1 year.
Yes.
And the only thing you've got to make sure is there's always money available. There's also other ways to do things, like people have variable annuity from life insurance companies. They'll guarantee a payout for life. But the difference is this is a different type of annuity. People hear annuity and they feel, I die, my money disappears. Well, it doesn't. This one actually leaves an estate. But what will happen is if it ran out of money, as in the case of a RIF, where you have to take more out every year, you're still guaranteed a minimum payment. So you could have your principal run out and still have payments the rest of your life.
Wow.
If there was principal left, you left an estate. If the principal's gone, at least you know your payments never change. And then the next one is another one is called a pension builder, which is basically like the variable annuity. And the variable annuity, I work with the client. We move the money around, making sure we're in the right place at the right time. This would be where you would hand it over to a life company, and they are experts at pensions, and they run it for you. But again, you have full access to your money at any time. You're going to be able to guarantee a payment the rest of your life. And if there's still principal there, you can leave it to an estate.
That should allay some of the fears, eh, Mark?
Absolutely. Already, Terry, you're just bringing so many great nuggets of information that not only we're learning here in studio, but certainly our listeners were. Can we shift focus a little bit right now, or you've got more to share right away?
That's just a couple things I thought I'd put up.
Perfect.
There are more, but that's the main area to work
Well, and
on.
we'll have you back on the show because we want to cover some other things, and we'll have you back because we know your knowledge is dense. So, one of the key items about making our seniors matter is that, where professionals work together to do a better, more seamless job for seniors. Is that what made you choose this group, Terry? What is the value for you in being part of making our seniors matter?
Well, I guess there's 2 things. Actually, Margaret, you approached me, and when you started telling me about it, I got pretty excited. Because you like to give back to your community. At the same time, best way to give back to community is the knowledge that you have.
Indeed.
Everybody in the group's doing the same thing. But it's the best group I've ever worked with. They only have one focus, and that's what's best for the senior. And if I meet with the senior and I'm not the right answer, I will make sure they get to the person with the right answer. As a group, we work together. It's not just a referral, and nobody knows what else is going on, because you can't have a cookie-cutter approach to things.
Especially in this population.
Yes, especially in this population. What's best for me, I'm finding, is that I'm brought in a decision-making process much earlier. People take the time, maybe they need to renovate their house, so they're going to do that, and then they find out they don't have their money, then they don't have this, and they should have that. And then that brings in insecurity, and again, no sleepability.
Right.
If you get in at the beginning with all the right professionals, you can find out what you can do, how to save taxes the best, how to have more cash flow, or what your cash flow will be. And you can look at the whole package for a difference. And you can also look at the other professionals, like if you need a resource worker or anything like that. And I've never seen a group to bring that in the past.
Yeah. And you know what? And that's, we're thrilled here that is your view of this, because one of the things we're so proud of here at Making Our Seniors Matter is that we do really create a web of support and resource for seniors and their families. And we aren't working in silos. Liz, I know you've got some other things to ask. What
I just have a question, and it comes up every time, and it's particular to seniors because of where they come from and how they were brought up. They're very loyal and passionate about the bank that they've always gone to. So I would like to say, why would they come to see a financial consultant, Terry? What one thing would you like them to know about why it's important to speak to you or someone like you?
Well, a lot of the reason they were feeling good and safe at the banks is because they bought GICs with good rates. When you go off onto other products, the bank itself is only offering their products, and no one company has the best. Company has the best of everything. And currently, investment decisions are being made by computer modeling. They're not tailored to individual needs and personality. You fill out a form.
That's a good point.
And you're going. Mm-hmm. One that I'm running into is people coming to me is the staff at the banks now is a constant rotation. Mm-hmm. And who they found a connection with in the past isn't there already.
That's huge for seniors. It's huge for everybody. It's certainly huge for seniors in terms of trust.
It's a really great point.
Yeah. So I actually moved from a bank-owned firm to be able to come and do this because I want to be able to shop for the best out there. Probably the best way to say this is I work with a group of independent advisors. We work out of Manulife, but we're independent. And when we bring in a mutual fund, a pension company or anything, we sit down with 16 of us and we put them through the mill. And we pick the right products at the right time. And we bring in economists, but it's a whole different attitude when you're able to go out and they have to prove that their product is good enough for us to put on our shelf. To be able to use to our clients.
We really appreciate that information, Terry, and we really would like you to come back.
Well, please.
And share some more.
Oh, please. I'd gladly come back.
And of course, you're going to be one of the first faces on Making Our Seniors Matter TV.
You poor people.
Well, Terry, thanks so much for joining us in studio today. We know how busy you are, and we really appreciate not only your knowledge, but your passion for the community and for making our seniors matter.
Thank you very much. We're very pleased to be here and working with a great group like this.
Thank you. Stay tuned because we've got lots more here on our first show of Season 2 of Making Our Seniors Matter.
Again, time for another senior scam alert with Glenn Cunningham and Constable Claudia Wells from the Peel Regional Police Service.
Hey, Todd, it's really great to have Terry McIntyre here in the studio with us this morning. Season 1, Terry, you were very, very supportive of our group and what we've done, and especially by sponsoring the scam alerts by Peel Regional Police and the Brampton Fire Department. Thank you very, very much. And I understand you're going to do this again for Season 2?
Oh, absolutely. Back when I first met with you, as you remember, you talked about it. And one thing I find, we get a personal relationship with our clients in our business, and not as much on the phone calls, but on the internet ones. The number of times a client has phoned me and said, I just got a email from such and such a bank. Do you think it's real? Mm-hmm. Because they really don't know. And I'm telling you, I get that once or twice a month, and I still do.
Well, we're sure glad that you stepped up, and we appreciate it very much. And here's Claudia with our next scam alert. Welcome back to Making Our Seniors Matter. And again, I'm here with Constable Claudia Wells of the Peel Regional Police. Welcome, Claudia.
Good morning, Glenn.
Claudia, today's everything is online. We talk about, buy a car online. We've got places to sell things online. You can buy almost anything under the sun online. Do you have any tips or recommendations for people when they're doing that kind of transaction?
When it comes to internet safety, we really need to be prevalent as to what type of information you are putting into the system. But for the most, before you even put that information into the system, is the links you're clicking on to the internet. So for instance, if you started off at a CIBC.com and you've clicked somewhere else, and then you see where it's no longer a secure link, it's actually switched to another name, you got to be very careful, because you might be being kicked out of that original website that you've been asked to go on. So following the link, make sure it's secure, is one of the first things you need to do. Make sure it's a secure website. And you can always tell by the link where it has a lock and key mechanism on it. When you're putting in your information in there, you need to make sure it's a secure website, where if you're putting credit card information, that it's secure. So you're putting your personal information in there. You have to remember, every time you input your address, your phone number, any of your contact, your credit card number, anytime you put that in your computer, it stays in there as a memory in your computer. So if someone physically gets a hold of your computer and they get into your computer by crashing it with a virus, that's all in there. So you just got to remember what type of information, how often, and where you're sending it. But when it comes to seniors, a lot of times we're finding that, seniors a lot of them don't have a large income. So they're looking for prescription drugs online that are cheaper.
Yes.
Okay, but that problem is they don't know what they're receiving. It's not like they're walking into Walmart and they see the box and they can actually hands-on see the prescription medication. They're actually probably not receiving the appropriate medicine that they're ordering. So we need to be very careful, because with seniors that can be very dangerous, especially if it's a heart medication or something.
Absolutely.
Right? Another thing that we're finding is the fraudulent anti-aging products. Someone wants to get rid of those wrinkles. What you're getting, you don't know what you're getting online. So you got to be very wary if it's a legitimate site or the product itself is legitimate.
Is there any way for someone to know if it's a legitimate site? Is there any place to check the Better Business Bureau for internet?
Well, unfortunately not when it comes to the internet. But what I would suggest is, if there's a product you're looking at, go to the nearest store that does have it and does carry it. If they have a website that's a little bit more convenient for them to go to and get it delivered to them later on, ask for that appropriate website. That's one of the things they can do. So if it's not convenient for you to go out in public all the time, have someone purchase for you hands-on, and then see if there's an appropriate website you can order off later on. But there's, unfortunately, what happens with these websites is, once one shut down, within minutes another one can be created as a fraudulent site. So even with us, when we're trying to locate an individual, that website shut down, within minutes another one's created. So it's just being very careful and wary. You're on a legitimate site, that it is a secure website, and that you're not putting too much information on there.
Perfect. Now I'm going to assume that the larger companies that we deal with that have stores have online services as well, but I'm sure that the catch here is it's cheaper. Buy here, why pay $100 when we can sell it to you for $39.95 is probably the big catch. So if it's too good to be true,
It's too good.
It probably is.
Yeah.
So, Claudia, thank you very much for taking the time, and thanks again to Peel Regional Police for allowing you to come in and talk to us on Making Our Seniors Matter Radio. It's really important that our seniors stay safe, and you're a big part of this plan for Peel Region. Thank you very much again.
Thanks, Glenn.
And again, thanks, Terry McIntyre, for sponsoring our Scam Alert and our services to make our seniors safe. Terry McIntyre is with Manulife Financial Services, and we hope that if you have need for those kinds of services, that all of our sponsors here on Making Our Seniors Matter Radio are a place that you'll go to and at least give them the opportunity to speak to you. Thanks again. Have a great day.
Independence matters. Terry McIntyre is a full-service investment advisor who researches and advises the best products in all markets, then advises which best meets your needs and risk tolerance. We are all individuals and need to be treated as individuals. Investments, income, and estate planning have become very non-personal at the big institutions. You deserve to work with a professional who crafts investments to meet your needs. Terry McIntyre, Investment Advisor, Manulife Securities Incorporated. Call 905-896-9060 or go to terrymcintyre.ca. Welcome back to Making Our Seniors Matter. And as I always say, boy, if you could be a fly on the wall during the sponsor messages. But anyways, that's another story, another time.
Oh, sweat that fly. Sweat him. Okay.
So what's happening for the next segment?
Well, Todd, we are having a switcheroo here. We've put Margaret totally on the other side of our studio desk here so we can interview her. So Margaret Wallace Duffy, 23-year owner and therapist at Wallace for Wellness, an integrated wellness clinic. Margaret is an award winner, an Award of Excellence for Communication this year from the Board of Trade, and a Women of Achievement for Healthy and Active Living. If she doesn't match up with My Seniors Matter, I don't know what does. Margaret, it's really great to have you here on the other side.
You know what? It feels awesome on the other side of the desk, and I have to tell you why. Do you know what? I have to tell you why, and that is because during season 1, you were on the other side of the desk, and I was leading the charge to get you guys to do what you wanted to do, which is Making Our Seniors Matter radio on Wow Living TV. Absolutely. And there's nothing that makes me happier, Liz, than to be sitting here proudly watching you soar, the two of you, doing an outstanding job, and I don't even have to be in the room. So I am honored this morning to be interviewed by you guys and why I'm here and so passionate about the work that you're doing, and now I get to do with you.
Okay, now you have to answer questions, so here comes the trick part.
All righty.
Okay, are you ready? You know that when I work with clients, I have mostly senior clients, but I know that every lifestyle and age group can attend a wellness clinic. But can you share why it would be great for seniors to go there for it's hard to say holistic, but a holistic evaluation of their health?
Such a great question, and I hear it every day in our clinic, and I have for the past 2 decades. You know, when I opened Wallace for Wellness, I really had a vision in mind, and that was for it to be a one-stop health and wellness destination for all stages of life. Because at the end of the day, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and even financial, which is why Terry McIntyre was on earlier, matters to our health. And it doesn't matter if you're a newborn baby, or if you're a teen or a new mom or you're a senior, taking care of our health matters. And as we age, and in our society now, people are living longer. And we want, my goal and our goal as a team at Wallace for Wellness is that those last years of our lives, those what we called golden years, which unfortunately I've seen many people struggle and suffer. You know, they get to retirement when it's supposed to be a glorious time and they're really struggling. Some of them don't even make it past into retirement. And it shouldn't be a struggle. I want to see people live vibrantly and well. And that's why Making Our Seniors Matter at Wallace for Wellness, and that's why our team collectively really try to take care of the senior and their family, because we don't treat alone. When I treat a family member, I know that their health is impacted by the health of their family members. Mm-hmm. And for me personally, I can't say enough about Fred and Mary Wallace. I'm going to get tearful. My parents, who not only inspired me to do work in wellness, but inspire me every day to really impart my knowledge and to help seniors live the life they deserve to live. Because after all, they are really the fabric of our society that helps to teach us so much.
Absolutely.
Margaret, because Making Our Seniors Matter is more than just a very local group. I mean, we're looking at why we're on the internet is because this can be heard worldwide, but certainly countrywide. And I understand where you're coming from, that it's a whole package to put together, but how does someone find somebody like yourself if they're in Halifax
or Saskatoon,
or
Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad you asked that question, Glenn, because that does matter to us. I mean, local matters. I wouldn't be doing this if it didn't.
So much. Yeah.
But, you know, years ago when I started the WOW media side of our business, so radio and television online, I've done tons of national television work, traditional media. But then when new media came along, and that, hence the internet, I saw an opportunity. And of course, as an entrepreneur, I saw it in many different ways. But one of the reasons that drives me is the passion to share my knowledge and education worldwide and to help engage and empower and inspire and through education people across our country. So we really do try to, at our clinic, whether you come to our clinic or you have a family member somewhere else, is to really give them the resources. So for example, if you're looking for a massage therapist, look for the professional association in your area. You can Google that And if you don't, as a senior, don't know how to do that, ask your family member or your grandkids, because they'll know how to do that. So look for professional associations. They're nationwide. There's lots of great resources online that can help you. So there are, whether it's the Ontario Massage Therapists Association or the Ontario Association of Naturopathic Doctors, there's going to be equivalent in other provinces. And then if you're beyond that, because this show reaches worldwide, look in your community. And if you don't know where to look, ask someone in your community that's in the know. Ask a Wallace for Wellness type clinic in your community and ask them to help you.
What questions should you ask? I mean, you're set up in such a way that you've got a wide range of folks, and from the experience we've had, you work together on making that senior's life a little bit better.
Yes.
But how do you know if I'm in Calgary whether or not a wellness clinic is going to do that?
Well, that's
a good questions to ask.
Yeah, and you know what? Every clinic is different, and so you do have to interview. And I want people to interview us when they call. I love those clients that call in and they're asking us the questions. They have to feel comfortable. So it depends on your situation and what your concern is, what your health concern is, mental, physical, emotional health concern. So you want to ask, how long have they been in business? Here is my problem. Who do you have? What professional do you have that can meet those needs? And if so, is it covered by insurance? Because we are limited by our financial resources at every stage in life, and that doesn't change as a senior.
Absolutely.
So ask the questions that's going to give you the answers that you can need to put a plan together that's best to customize your health. Terry earlier on the show talked about these forms that fill out so that you just become a number. Mm-hmm. You deserve to have customized care. And I think that's what, some of the questions you need to ask.
Yeah. I was just thinking when you just mentioned about Terry, the fact that we've got both of you on the same show, and we're talking to seniors who typically use a bank, and we've asked them to look at a financial advisor as well, and people who go to their regular doctor.
Absolutely.
And specialists, and we're saying have a look at a wellness clinic too,
right,
and see how that works in your life. So can you just tell me if you work with doctors and specialists and how that interacts? So
I'm going to very quickly tell you a story. When I opened the clinic 23 years ago, I called it Wallace & Associates. Sounded like a law office, and I'll tell you why. It was deliberate. Because then the world didn't embrace holistic medicine at that time. Here we are 23 years later, and I'm singing from the rooftops, and I'm happy to welcome everyone else to the party, because we've spent 23 years earning the respect of all medical professionals, including doctors. Our clinic is 80% doctor referral. You won't hear me use the word alternative medicine, because it's not you could see your doctor or you see us. We are integrated because we work and link arms with all of your healthcare professionals, because at the end of the day, it's about you and your health.
Hey, Liz, I think she did a pretty good job.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby.
Passing score here.
She's a future in media.
I was a little nervous. I was a little nervous.
Go, Todd. Did you do a good job?
I think she's got a future in media. You've got skills, kid. You've got skills.
Well, and more importantly, I just have to say the skills of the people that just interviewed me. You know what? My heart is full of joy and pride in watching the two of you just blossom into what you deserve to be, and that is the real advocates for healthy living and for seniors, and you are doing it in a big way here on Wild Living Radio.
Well, thanks to you, Mark. Thanks to you.
More Wild Living Radio right around the corner. We'll be back with the wrap.
I'm overwhelmed. I don't know where to start, and I don't know who to call. These are some of the first sentences I hear from my clients who are considering whether or not to make a transition in their lives. They may wish to stay safely in their houses with some extra supports, or move to a more simple lifestyle, such as a residence or apartment. I'm told I'm kind of like a wedding planner without the wedding. I listen for the needs, make a plan, and then bring in all the trusted professionals that will execute the plan while I support and guide my client throughout the process. Hello, my name is Elizabeth Cunningham, Certified Professional Consultant on Aging, and my company, Blue Willow Consulting for Seniors. If you think I can help you or your family, please get in touch with me and we can chat. I'm always open to a cup of tea and a conversation. You can find my contact information at www.makingourseniorsmatter.com or bluewillowforseniors.com. Remember, you don't have to be in this alone. I'm here to help.
Welcome back to Making Our Seniors Matter, and this is The Wrap, and Liz is here to help me wrap and thank our wonderful guests today and our co-hosts, and well, we're going to thank everybody because they work so hard on this darn show.
Just a general all-around thank you.
It's a group hug. It's a group hug.
Well, sometimes that's what just exactly what we all need is a nice hug. But a special thank you to Mark for being here today, and to Terry, too, for giving us some great information and some really practical tips, which is what we want to share on Making Our Seniors Matter Radio. And speaking of which, if you're interested in sponsoring the radio program, or you're interested in being on the radio program, please give us a call. Todd's going to give you that number. And we are also looking forward to TV happening. And that's another thing you can sign up for. Just give us a call, Todd, and that number is?
We are working with sponsors on TV, radio, social media. The number you can reach us at is, of course, 1-866-269-6155, extension 3. And I'll say it really slow this time, 866-269-6155, extension 3. You can tune into Making Our Seniors Matter each Monday at 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you miss it, you can find it on demand or podcast the following day. If you'd like to comment on something you heard, you have a program suggestion, you'd like to make a song request, or if you'd like to nominate a senior for our Shining Senior Moment for Season 2, give us a call at 866-269-6155, extension 3. Making Our Seniors Matter is produced for WOW Radio by Listen Up Talk Radio. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you again next week.